Hello, it's Mike Rasmussen, CPA Straight Talk for Small Business. And I am just, today, what do we got? Today is actually Tuesday, August 18th. And you may not be seeing me on this. So what I'm going to do is immediately go to the site. This happens to be the bill. I'm going to talk specifically about student loan interest from the executive order. So on August 8th, 2020, what happened is the President Trump signed in a memorandum, and there is a difference between memorandums and executive orders, but they are directions to the government to act. So basically what here on August 8th of 2020, this was to memorandum for the Secretary of Labor, to the Secretary of Homeland Security, Administrative, Federal, FEMA, and management agencies. This was for to authorize needs assistance for major disaster. So all that this one did was basically a memorandum that said, here is my administration recognizing acute financial distress to supplement employee benefits. That's one. Help business keep their workers employed, in addition to zeroing federal student loan interest and delaying the tax day. Okay, so then what happened? And then you've got a memorandum on continued student loan payment relief during the COVID-19 pandemic. So in this memorandum, this is for the Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos. What it talks about is the initial policy, which in the initial CARES Act, which is what this is referring to, is that there was a student loan deferment of the payment and interest. And right here, my administration took action to provide immediate relief to tens of millions of student loan borrowers, both suspending loan payments and temporarily setting interest rates to 0%. Okay, so that was the policy back then. So here is what this memorandum did. In light of the national emergency, the Secretary of Education shall take action pursuant to applicable law to waivers of modifications to the requirements and conditions of economic hardship deferments, and provide such deferments to borrowers as necessary to continue the temporary cessation of payments and the waiver of all interest on student loans held by the Department of Education until December 31, 2020. Okay? Now, obviously, right here, all persons who wish to continue making student loan shall be allowed to do so, notwithstanding the deferments. Okay? So, right here, this executive order it was actually called a memorandum, okay, as opposed to an executive order. And I will tell you that those are one cites authority, which is executive order, and the memorandum is guidance to a department, which in this case is the Secretary of Education. Okay? So initially, this was the CARES Act, which identified and had in its context an initial deferment of student loan, and then interest, student loan payments, and then interest at zero. And then in the let's see, I went to the act as proposed by Safely Back to School and Back to Work Act. So by the Senate also, what they did on here in this Senate Bill 4322, if you scroll down here to simplifying the student loan repayment. So why President Trump went in is the Senate here went in and actually responded to the HEROES Act. And here it is. And Jennifer, loans described enter repayment on or after October 1, 2020, for which the borrower seeks to change to a different repayment plan. So what this is talking about is giving the ability to certain borrowers, okay, in the Senate bill for not only repayment, but possible right here for loan forgiveness. Now, since this Senate bill was not proven, or actually was not approved before they went into recess or went back to the House to even approve, bottom line is that this loan forgiveness this has not been enacted into law. So what President Trump did by this memorandum is to basically continue the student loan payment relief up until December 31 of 2020. At that point, we will then figure out what to do from there. Okay, so that is the student loan. It's not causing a lot of heartache and heartburn for anybody right now, but there is a memorandum to defer not only the student loan payments from the end of September, which expires, up until December 31 of 2020, and continue the interest rate drop to that was dropped to 0%. Okay, that is the executive policy right now. Betsy DeVos right now has not done any. There has not really been any action. Here is just a quick summary. And I'll read it to you. Trump's third memorandum calls for waiving interest on student loans through the end of 2020 and allows people to delay payments on the principal until December 31. Well, that was in the through September 30 was actually in the CARES Act, and applies to student loans that are held by the federal government. So really, until we actually get in and this provision right here, this really wasn't a sticking point, but that was the law right now. So there is a Senate bill that is basically called the Safely Back to School and Back to Work Act, which is part of the HEALS package, okay? And then there is the HEROES Act that was silent, really, actually not silent, but it also provided for extending out the way deep in here, and I'd have to find where that was, but way deep in here was actually extending out until into 2021 regarding the student loan. Okay? All right. That is for today, and it is, let's see, that's an update on the student loan interest. There's higher priorities like the USPS and whatnot, but I would go right now with the student. Now tomorrow I'm going to talk about the eviction, which was part of the memorandum here. So we've talked about the unemployment, the FUMA, which was out of existing funds. We've talked about the student loan, and then the next couple days I'll be talking about delaying the tax day and the eviction. Those were the four that were talked about in memorandums and executive orders on from President Trump on August 8th. Okay? All right. Mike Rasmussen, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.